Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Public support for President Biden's infrastructure plan. Public support for President Biden's American Rescue Plan, the one involving the $1,400 stimulus check, is on the rise while the left is claiming that the president is, I quote, weaponizing the IRS to harass ordinary Americans. Folks, welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Let's just jump right in. Here's new reporting from CNBC. Americans support President Biden's spending plan and actually want him to spend more. Yes, you heard that right. Again, this is reporting from CNBC. Multiple polls are showing that a majority of our fellow Americans support what the president has done with the stimulus package and what the president is planning to do with infrastructure. Here's a tweet from Monmouth Poll. Polls show that 2 in 3 support President Biden's spending plans. $2 trillion infrastructure American jobs plan, 68% support and 29% oppose. The upcoming plan to expand healthcare, to expand childcare and other support, the American Families Plan, 64% support, 34% oppose. Here's the web page. Here's the poll from the Monmouth University Polling Institute. Broad support for spending plans. President Biden gets better marks than former President Trump for dealing aggressively with infrastructure. As we scroll down the article, you'll see about 2 in 3 Americans support the president's multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure package, as well as the proposed tax hikes that deal with how to pay for this infrastructure package. So clearly, there's a lot of support, and this is being reported by multiple news sources. Here's a new report on your screen from NBC News, and as you can see the headline on your screen, a poll shows that at 100 days, President Biden's approval remains strong, although there are some questions over whether the honeymoon can last. Folks, depending on which side of the political spectrum you're on, you're going to have a certain opinion of President Biden, which is understandable. But the fact is the majority approves of the president's handling of the pandemic and the economy in a new NBC News poll. The same thing was also confirmed by a Reuters Ipsos poll that you'll see on your screen right now. Biden fares better than Trump over his first 100 days. Folks, it's very early in the game right now, but it looks like, as far as a majority of Americans are concerned, it looks like President Biden, from a pandemic management standpoint, from an economic standpoint, is doing quite well. So it looks like the president is getting high marks at the moment. Here's another headline on your screen from the Washington Post. Americans give Biden mostly positive marks for his first 100 days. Let's take a look at this chart from the Washington Post article. Biden wins high marks for handling the pandemic, low grades for immigration at the US-Mexico border. So this is the approval rating of the president. His job as president, Democrats 90% overwhelming support, independents 47%, Republicans 13%. The pandemic 92, 63 and 33, which are pretty high marks. The economy 87 from Democrats, which you would expect, 47% independents, 17% Republicans. Republicans are not happy. And immigration, the lowest marks for immigration, 64%, 32% and 10% respectively on the immigration situation at the US-Mexico border. And what's even more interesting, and here's another chart on your screen also from the Washington Post, 6 in 10 Americans say that President Biden should change proposals to try and win Republican support. As you can see from the chart on your screen, and by the way, this tells a story, it looks like the American people want more cooperation, want more bipartisanship. They want less infighting, they want less finger pointing. They just want the two sides to work together, get stuff done, and move the country forward. And here's another chart on your screen that actually compares President Biden's first 100 days with other past presidents, and it looks like President Biden's doing very well. Biden wins positive ratings ahead of 100 day, better than Trump, worse than others since Eisenhower. So very interesting 100-day approval rating here. As you can see, President Biden doing quite well, 52% approval rating. Pretty interesting statistics. Now let's be clear, everybody. Not every single person is happy with President Biden. In fact, one individual who's not happy at all with President Biden is the former White House senior economic advisor Larry Kudlow. Now I get a lot of comments from our viewers and subscribers. Why are you featuring Kudlow? Folks, I want us to be aware of both sides on this channel. For me, it's not about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white and blue. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm American. Although I have to tell you, my personal opinion is that sometimes Larry Kudlow is a little... So although I don't agree with everything he says, and there are times when he's... What did you say? it is important again to hear both sides of the equation. In this segment, Larry Kudlow on his show on Fox Business says that the president is weaponizing the IRS to harass people. By people, he means rich people, because the IRS essentially can get more bang for their buck by auditing rich people. The IRS isn't going to make much money auditing somebody who makes $50,000-$60,000 a year. But if somebody makes $2, $3, $4 million a year, they audit that person, they're likely to find much more money. Let's check out this segment with Larry Kudlow, where he talks about the President of the United States weaponizing the IRS to harass Americans. Let's roll the tape and check it out.
The $80 billion in the proposed funding, by the way, would be an increase of 2/3 over the agency's entire funding levels for the last decade. Good luck with that, Mr. President. From time immemorial, folks, presidents searching high and low for revenues to fund their overspending love to get more IRS agents out there to run around the country and harass taxpayers. This time, $80 billion is a really big number. Incidentally, one former IRS commissioner said 25 would be sufficient. I don't know if any of it's useful. Here's the last laugh. Team Biden, this is so wonderful, expects to raise $780 billion in new tax revenues. Now, I've seen this movie before. Believe me, folks, they're not going to get half of that. They might not even get a third of that. It's been tried many times and utterly failed. Art Laffer's tax holiday is a better idea. Tax amnesty would be a better idea. Anyway, what this IRS new agent's $80 billion is another tax, okay? That's all it is. It's another tax. Call it a harassment tax. Now, you know what this is going to lead to? Big-time, politically motivated audits, okay? It weaponizes the IRS.
Now, if you thought that was interesting, President Biden has now mandated $15 an hour minimum wage for federal contractors. He can do that as the president. He doesn't need Congress to support him with that. He can do that by executive order, which he's done. And so what Larry Kudlow did was somehow make the connection between this $15 an hour minimum wage and say that it is hurting our military. Yes, in a pretty incredible segment, which you have to see for yourself, Larry Kudlow says that this is a backdoor minimum wage hike that Team Biden had to do because they were forced to give up on the minimum wage increase in the American Rescue Plan. He says it is an anti-defense action, it is a prosperity killing action, and he says what the Biden administration did was cut the military budget and raise the cost by essentially paying federal contractors much more. Now, how he made the connection from the $15 an hour minimum wage for federal contractors to hurting the military, that is something I'll let him explain, and I'll let you decide whether you agree with it or not. Let's roll the tape and hear from the one and only Larry Kudlow.
The administration will use an executive order to impose a $15 minimum wage for federal contractors. Let's look at this. This federal contractors, it's a large group of both large and small companies with knock-on effects running through the entire country, particularly affecting small businesses. It's a backdoor minimum wage hike that Team Biden was forced to give up on the infrastructure legislation. I think the biggest victim here is going to be the military. Military companies and the Defense Department are going to be damaged. Let me get this right. Team Biden cutting the military budget in real terms, but at the same time jacking up costs of its hundreds of thousands of contractors. This is another anti-defense action, and it's a prosperity-killing action. And by the way, it not only applies to giant outfits like a Lockheed or a Raytheon or a Boeing, it also applies to a whole lot smaller outfits who run military bases, provide food services, sanitation services, et cetera, et cetera. There's no end to it. $15 an hour is a lot more than the current $10.95. So, cut the military budget and then raise the costs. That is anti-military.
There you have it, folks. The president getting support from a majority of our fellow Americans, while conservatives complain of a harassment tax, complain that the president is weaponizing the IRS and harassing the American people, and the $15 an hour minimum wage for federal contractors, which again, the president can do and has done, claiming that that's going to hurt our military. Let me know whether you agree or disagree. Please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I want you to know that that would mean a lot to me. That is your way of supporting our channel. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.